Hi, my name's Anthony Huey, and welcome to the Learning Zone. Today's focus is on a concept that's relatively new in the world of business buzz phrases, but something that's as old as humanity itself, and that's storytelling. The power of a good story, as you know, has long stirred emotion and inspired those to action, and today we're going to explore how you can tap into this primal tool to communicate more effectively in business. I've spent my entire career telling stories, first as a news reporter and news editor, so a journalist, and now as a coach and a communications consultant who helps people just like you craft memorable messages that stick. I have an innate sense of what is a story, what is a good story, and maybe more importantly, what is not. So before we jump into that in more detail, let's talk a little bit about why even tell a story? There are three main reasons why we tell a story and why it's so powerful in business. Number one, storytelling is memorable. I don't have time to go into all the research, but there's a lot of science when it comes to this. In fact, studies show that a story is nearly 22 times more memorable than just facts alone. When you weave facts about your company, products, etc. within a story, that makes it more memorable, well, at least according to science and in my experience. Another major reason why storytelling is so powerful is that it's inherently persuasive. You see, spewing lists of product features at a customer is not in and of itself persuasive. Sure, it's informative, but facts alone don't persuade somebody. When you tell a story, it's a collaborative process between you, the storyteller, and the person or people listening. When you tell a story, what it does is it creates a context for your facts, which are important. And hopefully, if you tell the right story to the right audience, it connects emotionally through this shared experience. It puts you, the storyteller, in sync with the audience because as I'm listening to you tell that story, I can visualize what's going on, and that takes me back to my own life experiences, how I've felt, or realistically how I can imagine myself feeling in that situation if I were in the same boat or whatever it may be. For example, let me tell you a little story. I live in Florida, and a few weeks ago, one of my friends called asking for advice on visiting Disney World with his 6-year-old son and what to expect. So I said, all right, man, here's the deal. One, you're going to arrive at the airport in Orlando, and you're going to be greeted by about 10,000 kids all wearing these Mickey Mouse ears. You'll get your luggage, your snacks, your water, more snacks, of course, your own Mickey ears, use the bathroom twice, pick up your rental car, all before leaving the airport. Then, after what seems like a 3-hour drive on the deadliest stretch of freeway in America, truly, you'll arrive at the parking lot to Magic Kingdom, where you will see about 5 miles of parked cars. You'll park in a section named after a Disney character that you've never heard of, which, by the way, you'll forget at about 11 o'clock at night when your son's having a meltdown. You'll then take a tram to a line with about 10,000 people, after which you'll board an elevated train that drops you off at another line of about 10,000 people, all wearing those Mickey Mouse ears. At last, you think, we're here, until you realize it's just the security line that then dumps you out into another line that is finally the entrance to Disney. It's a huge hassle, and it makes you question if this was even worth the time and the money until you walk through a narrow tunnel and see your son's face as he's greeted by an explosion of sights, sounds, and smells that can only be described as magical. Okay. Back to the learning zone. See, when I was telling that story about Disney, anyone here who's been to Disney or another amusement park knows exactly what I'm talking about. You can put yourself in that situation. You can imagine yourself in that situation as I'm telling the story. As I described each layer of the story, you are my co-pilot, taking the journey with me. And most importantly, I now have your emotional investment, and that is how I connect with you on a deeper level, not just spitting out facts. And even if you've never been to Disney or even a theme park in your life, You've all had experiences of airport travel, waiting in line for something, stressful driving, but then also experiencing something at the end of all that frustration that makes the hassle all worth it. So that is the second reason why we want to tell stories. It puts the audience on the journey with us. Journeys create emotion, and emotions make things memorable. That's why you all could tell me very probably specific details about your favorite vacation you've ever taken in life, but none of you, I bet, can tell me exactly what that vacation costs. And then finally, the third reason why I would want to tell a story is that it's viral. Because it's easily memorable, it's also easily repeatable and shareable. And now that customer or prospect or whatever that you've told a story to can say to a colleague, hey, I just heard a pretty cool story from one of our vendors. Check this out. Now I have that customer or prospect selling for me. Think about that.